Hi, today we're talking about Pollywogs Feeding Frenzy, game by MJ Carambat. It's for ages 10 and over. It's about a 15 to 30 minute gameplay, and it can do 2 to 4 players. First, I'll show you how to set up the box. Open the box, take out the instructions, and you will notice there are 4 game boards. Regardless of the number of players, you're going to want to set these up before distributing them to the players. You'll notice at the bottom of every board is a star. On initial setup, you're going to rotate the inside so that the little circular area, which is called the round marker, is facing that star. That's the setup. You do that on all 4 game boards, so they're all facing the star. Then you flip them over and you shuffle them up and you distribute them to the number of players. If this was a 4-player game, player 1 would get this one, player 2 would get this one, and 3 and 4. Alrighty, so basically the game's played simultaneously. All players play on their boards at the same time. What we're trying to do is gain frog eggs. You get the frog eggs by moving small little tadpoles on the board using these cattails. Each player is going to get a cattail to move their pollywogs. The game is very much a strategy, but also a dexterity game. So I'm going to pass out a cattail to each player. Alrighty. Then you take out the center tray, which will become the egg supply. This is where everyone's going to take their eggs from. Okay, so we take out our eggs, put it in the center tray. You'll notice there's 2 different colors of eggs. There are white eggs and gold eggs. The white eggs are 1 point each. The gold eggs represent 5 white eggs. So as the white supply runs down, you can start taking from the golds to do 5 at a time. You also take out your bonus tiles. These will be used in the game later. Bonus tiles are put in ascending order starting at 0. So you go 0, 1, 2, 3 if you're playing for a 4-player game. If you're playing for a 2-player game, you'd use the 0 and the 1. If you're playing for a 3-player game, you'd use 0, 1, and 2. And the 4-player game is 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's set up. Lastly, you have these cover tiles, which we will distribute in a moment. What we're going to do first is you'll also notice in the box there are 4 supply tray sets. Each player will get a supply tray set. So I'll give these out. Okay. Okay, now in the supply tray set, you can open it with the cattail, kind of helps a little bit. This is your egg guide. It is a strategy guide. It helps you to figure out the best place to place your frog so that you can gain more eggs. On the other side is the holding pool tray. So when that's referenced, you're going to flip this over and use the holding pool. Later, I'll explain what that's for. So that goes to the left of the game board. Okay. And then you're going to empty your supply tray. The supply tray has several elements in it, the first of which are 4 lily pads. These are the same, the lily pads that will cover up the number of eggs that are available for you on each round. The game's played over 4 rounds. After the 4th round, whoever has the most unhatched eggs wins. So right now, and this is why we had the setup earlier, you'll notice in the 4 large holes where these lily pads go, you don't see any eggs. That's by design so that you can't game the system and know which card you have. Each card has the same number of holes and orientation and shapes of islands. However, what's in those holes is different, and so the games are totally random. It's actually over 16 different puzzles that can be played on this game. So every time you play it, you're going to get something different, and you can't predict what card you have and where the eggs are going to be. So right now you don't know, but you're going to go ahead and place these lily pads in these 4 big holes. And then later, when the game rotates, there will be eggs underneath each of these lily pads. So that's where you do first. You set up your lily pads. Then you can go ahead and take out your frogs and everything else. Okay. And put your supply tray to the right of your game board. So the round card is to the left, and the egg guide card is to the left, and the supply tray is to the right. You take your 3 frogs. These are what you're going to use to get the eggs underneath the lily pads. They go in the frog section. There's 3 little frogs right here. Okay, and then these are called revealed lily pads. And what these are like lily pads where the tops have been popped off, so you can see through them and actually see the eggs. And I'll explain how those work in a moment. Let me get this out of the way. And you put these guys right here. Okay, now, all we have left now are our Pollywogs, which is the heart of the game. These are the guys that are going to do all the moving and shaking and get things going. Basically, we're almost done with setup. After everyone's got to this point, everyone rotates their board so that the play marker is on the round 1 corner pool. This is round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. So we're going to rotate this guy to here. Okay, and that sets up the first round. So right now, underneath each of these lily pads is a collection of eggs. The marker will tell you that one of them will contain 1 egg, one will contain 2 eggs, one will contain 3 eggs, and one will contain 0 eggs. There's some text in the 0 egg container. There's always one lily pad that has 0 eggs. This tells you how many Pollywogs you would have to sacrifice to get all 3 of your frogs on top of these lily pads. So on round 1, it will cost you 2 younger Pollywogs to score your 3 older Pollywogs, which are the ones that are going to turn into frogs. On round 2, you'll have a 1 egg, a 2 egg, but a 4 egg, so you get some extra eggs, but it'll cost you 3 frogs to score that maximum. All the way up to round 4, which it'll cost you 5 frogs to score up to 9 eggs. So that's what the card's useful for. It kind of is a process elimination. It tells you, hey, I can use this to figure out where to put my frogs so that I maximize my egg count. Alrighty, so now we're ready to distribute the Pollywogs for the first round. You take your 3 dark Pollywogs, which are called older Pollywogs. These are the ones that are right about to turn into frogs. You put them where the round marker is. You put them in this pool. The other 3 pools, you're going to put 3 younger Pollywogs. So I'm going to put 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. Okay, now the game's ready to go. So as soon as everyone has set up their boards the same way, oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. These are covers. You're going to take out 12 covers and give 12 covers to each player, which they put in their supply tray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And so everyone would get 12 supply covers in their supply tray, 3 frogs, 9 light Pollywogs, and 3 dark Pollywogs, and 3 revealed lily pads, and 4 regular lily pads, and a cattail. Okay, so now we're ready to start. Basically, what you're trying to do is your older Pollywogs are the only ones that can convert into frogs, and they convert into frogs by falling into the frog space, which is right here. Okay, there's 1 frog space here on this board. There's 1 here, and there's 1 here. Each board has a frog space in different locations, but there's always 3 frog spaces for all 3 of your older Pollywogs. If you drop a younger Pollywog on a frog space, the frog space goes away, which they can't use anymore, and the younger frog is wasted. He's not being able to turn into a frog. You've just wasted a turn. So try not to get your younger Pollywogs on the frog spaces. That's what a frog space does. The second thing is the fish. To get your older Pollywogs to these frogs, you have to clear the way for the fish. Because basically, if you notice, the very first move that this Pollywog can do, he's going to get eaten by a fish. As soon as a Pollywog is eaten by a fish, it goes into the Pollywog's reserve tray supply, and he's off the board. So you don't want to sacrifice your dark ones because those are the only ones that can go in the frogs. So what you want to do is try to maneuver your younger Pollywog's around the board and fall into the space. Then they go into the thing, and you take a cover, and you put the cover over the hole. I'll explain how that works. So, for example, I'm starting the game. I'm going to move my Pollywog. When you move them, you have to move them with the stick. You can't touch them with your fingers. And as he goes around the board, and he falls in a hole, then you take him off, you put him in a tray, you take out a cover, and you put it over the hole. See, now these guys can move out without getting hurt. However, this frog space is still protected by a fish. So I need to put another one of these guys out to cover up that fish hole. Okay, if you accidentally knock a Pollywog into a fish hole, even if it was on accident, you have to cover it and take it off and sacrifice the Pollywog. Pollywogs can't be flicked across the board. They can't go on top of the islands. If they accidentally go on the island, you can push it back or put it back with your hand into the water from where it left. If it goes flying off the board, go grab it, put it back in the water from where it left. So basically, I'm pushing this guy now. He's going over the cover, and I'm going to put him in this fish hole right here. Okay, and he comes off the board, and I put another cover. Great. Now I can move out my first older Pollywog. So I'm moving him out. Oh, That was a mistake. Okay, so this guy, instead of going to the frog hole, went into the fish hole. So he gets eaten. He goes into the thing. And I just lost one of my opportunities of getting a frog, which is really not good. So I'm going to try again and try to be more careful this time. You can turn these things sideways and push them like this, but they have to be pushed from the side. There you go. And so now he's in there. So I put a cover over the frog hole, even though, you know, it was a older Pollywog. But now I can take one of my frogs and put it on top of any of the 4 lily pads. Unfortunately, I don't know what's underneath each of these. All I know is one of them's a 0, one's a 1, because of the card. One's a 1, one's a 2, and one's a 3. So I'm hoping to put it on a 3, but we don't know. So how do you find out? Well, there's another space on the board right here, which is called the lily pads revealer space. When you drop a Pollywog on this space, the Pollywog is taken off the board. It does cost you a Pollywog to do it, but then you get to replace any of these lily pads with a revealed lily pad, which will show you what's underneath it. So for example, I can move this guy all the way back out. All the way to cover that fish. Okay, and I need to get another one to open that space up. To do that, I would have to move this little guy all the way around the board to get him around there, or not. So there's these useful spaces called whirlpools. This is the last space on the board. Whirlpools are different in that they don't get covered up. Okay, so like if I put a Pollywog in a whirlpool, what the whirlpool allows me to do is basically move him to any open of the 4 corners I'd like. So I can take him out of this whirlpool and put him over here, and I don't cover up that space, and he doesn't come off the board. He just moves. So the whirlpools are movers for your Pollywoggs. It affects both the dark and the lighter Pollywoggs. So I have used this space to jump over here. Then I'll push this guy all the way over here, and he goes into the space. And then I clear it. And now I can choose any unoccupied lily pad to put one of these on. So I'm going to choose this one. Oh, good. Look, that's a 2 space. Now that that's there, and I've taken this off the board, that stays on there throughout all the rounds. So as this thing rotates, you'll always be able to look through this revealed lily pad and see how many eggs are there. So you can do this. There's only 1 lily pad reveal space per round. So at most you'll have is 3 of these by the time you hit round 4. By the time you hit round 4 and you've got 3 of them revealed, it's kind of obvious as to what the 4th one's going to be anyway. So that's why you don't need to do it 4 times. So right now I know I've got a frog on an unknown space, and there is a revealed space showing 2 eggs here. So I want to try to get him probably, because according to the round card, the most I can get is 3. I know I'll get 2 here, but this could be a 1 or a 0. So I'm probably going to try to put a frog on top of this revealed space. The frogs can be placed on top of either a lily pad or a revealed lily pad. You can put them there as they are scored. So where's my next frog space? I have a frog space here, and I have a frog space here. Okay, so I think my best bet would be to try to get him over here. This is the closest one, because this is very much a very fast game. You're playing against the other players, because the first player that calls the game that says his turn's over, they get one of these bonus tiles, and I'll explain what these do later. And you do want a good bonus tile because it'll save you eggs at the end of the round. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this guy into this pool. The only problem with that is that each pool can only contain 3 Pollywoggs at a time. If you have 3, you can't put another Pollywog in here. So this one's already maxed out at 3. However, this one only has 2. This one has none. So I'm going to take one of these Pollywoggs and move him through and put him in a whirlpool and send him to here. And then I'm going to take this guy and move him around, put him in the whirlpool, which will send him here. And now he can go into the frog space. So he comes off the board, that frog space is covered, and I get another frog, which like I said, I'm going to put here. Now I'm out of frogs. If you remember earlier, I had accidentally gotten one of my darker Pollywoggs into a fish hole and killed it. So I can't make any more frogs. I can't reveal any more spaces. So I'm going to call my turn. I'll say, I'm done. Okay. And when you're done, you put down your cattail and you take the topmost bonus card. The bonus cards go down in value. So right now I have a 3. Suppose player 2 took the second one, player 3 took the first, and player 4 took the 0. They get no bonus if you're the last player. So now the game's over. We're about to do our scoring, end game scoring for round 1. It's not the game over. I'm sorry, the round's over. to do your scoring, you lift up each of your frogs one at a time and take the number of eggs found under that lily pad. So we'll take this frog first, put him back in the box, look under the lily pad. Oh, 1 egg. So I get 1 white egg. I'm putting it in my egg container. So this frog, I take him, I look through. Oh, hey, I got 2 eggs. So now I got 2 eggs I can put here. And that is it for my scoring. That's all I get is those 3 eggs. However, what I need to do now is set up for the next round. And this is where you can lose eggs. Basically, after you, all the players have gathered their eggs, then you flip your card over to the holding pool side. You take all the remaining pollywogs that are on the board and you put them in the holding pool. Okay, now, if you look inside of your supply tray, for round 1, there's a white number. This one's a 3, okay, for round 1. That basically means you get 3 of these back to put into your holding tray for the next round. I'm going to take the dark ones because those are the valuable ones that I can turn into frogs first. So I get 3 back. So I'm going to take these 3 and put them in the holding pool. Well, I still don't have a full set of pollywogs to use for my next round, which is required. You have to have as many pollywogs freed as you possibly can. Ideally, you want to empty this tray. So what do? Well, I have a bonus card. So the bonus card gives me 3 more, which I can then take out. That's what the bonus is for. So I take 3 more out because I have that bonus. So they go in the holding pool. So now I just have 1 more to get rid of. Okay, so how do I get him back? You spend your eggs. Okay, so basically I'm going to hatch the number of eggs required to get those out. If I had 3 pollywogs still in here, I would have to sacrifice all 3 of my eggs to get them back. This is not a option. You have to try. You have to buy back as many as you can. Luckily, I can afford my last one, so I'll put him here and spend 1 egg. And so at the end of round 1, I have 2 eggs for points, and I have all my pollywogs back. Some players will have an overage. They might have only spent 2 pollywogs, and just the round marker for 3 allowed them to get those 2 back, and they didn't even have to use their bonuses or their eggs, and so that's the thing. So when you're playing the game, you ideally want to use as least number of pollywogs as possible to try to score as many points as possible, so you don't lose so many eggs at the end of each round. The amount of pollywogs you get back increases because the cost of pollywogs increase at the end of every round. So to set up for the second round, this is what you do. You're going to first rotate the board. Don't take off any of the covers and don't move any of the lily pads. We're going to rotate it like this to the second marker, so the marker's facing number 2. Okay. And then you pop out your markers. So now you can use the stick to do this, or you can use your fingernails. But you pop out all the little covers. And we do this after the rotation so that you can't see through them and kind of predict where the eggs are going to be. Because right now, under each lily pad, you can see this one had a set of eggs on it before that. Now there's no eggs in there. And you don't know what's under these 2 right now. Okay. But I've taken all my my covers off. I've got this into the round 2 position. Everybody returns their tiles in ascending order. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then you put the dark pollywogs where the round marker is. Originally they were here. However, now the round marker's moved around 2. So now you're starting on round 2 with the darker pollywogs. When you're putting out the pollywogs, they go out flat, and then you can turn them sideways later. But generally you want to put them out flat like this. Turning them sideways is kind of helpful to get in some tight areas, and also if you notice it's a curve, and so it'll help you get over ridges like on some of the covers. It's an option. Okay, so now we're ready for round 2, and again it's played just like the first round. We're going to this one, instead of starting with a fish here, these guys have to go into a whirlpool, which means they have to go into a corner, which means you have to clear a corner so that they have room to fit, because right now there's 3 in each corner. And you want to look at where your frogs are. So like, okay, there's a frog space here, there's one here, and there's one here. And you want to look where your lily pad revealer is, and that's right here. There's always 1 lily pad revealer. There's always 3 frog spaces. There's always 4 whirlpools, and the remainder are fish, hungry fish. So we'll play round 2 real quick, just to show you an idea on the difficulty, why it's an increased amount of difficulty. For example, to get to this frog, it's going to require 2 fish, no matter what you do. There's no way you can get to it. However, once you've cleared this frog, you can get to the other frog. Okay, but this time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reveal another lily pad so that I can figure out, oh, you flipped this card back over, sorry. For round 2, I know there's a 1, a 2, and a 4. I want to find out where that 4 is. So I'm going to flip that over, and we're ready to start the next round. Everybody goes at the same time. So I'm going to go for the lily pad first and try to do it really quick. To get there, spending the least amount of tadpoles, it looks like I will have to go either through 3 fish to get here, or 1, and then I can go around here, 2 fish, 3 fish. Nope, it's going to cost me 3 fish regardless to get to there. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and spend it. So I'm going to do this guy first. He falls in the hole. Cover up the hole. Then the second one comes out. Oh, he fell in the hole accidentally. I didn't mean to go that way. That's what happens when you go too fast. Okay, so he goes in that hole. Now I'm going to send, I'm out of ones over here, so I'm going to send one of these guys into a whirlpool, which sends him over here. Now I can move him out and into the revealer space. Okay, now I can reveal another one of these 3. I'm going to grab this one. Oh joy, it's just a 1 egg. So, but at least I know on the next round that these 2 now will be revealed, and it'll help me for further use. Okay, and so since I know this is the 0 and this is the 1, then this one has to be either the 4 or the 2. So both of these are looking better to put my frogs on. Okay, so let's start getting some of these guys out. Well, to get to these 2 frogs, I'd need to clear these 2 fish, but this frog's ready to go. So I can move him into a whirlpool. He comes over here. Then I move him around. Okay, see, that's really tight. So I'm going to have to turn him sideways to push him through. There he goes. And he hits the frog space. So now I have a frog. I'm going to put that frog on that one right there. Okay, now I need to get to this frog. So I'm going to sacrifice 1 tadpole there, 1 pollywog there. I'm going to sacrifice another pollywog there. I am sacrificing so many pollywogs. Okay, now I can whirlpool this guy to here and then move him into the frog space. And that's another frog for me. And I'm going to put that frog there. Okay, now I could put another frog here, but I've wasted so many tadpoles. I'm a little concerned because I'm only going to get back 4 of these right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right now no one's claimed the 3 tile, so I really need that 3 tile because I don't want to spend eggs at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to call my turn. So I call my turn, I get the bonus tile, and then we wait for everybody else to get their bonus tiles. And then we do our scoring. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do scoring again. You just pick a frog. I'm going to take this frog off, and I get, 4 eggs. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 eggs. Put them in my thing. Then this frog, how much does he score? Surprise, 2. I get 2 eggs. So put him back here. So I get 2 more eggs. Okay. So that's done. Now you flip the card back over to the holding pool side. You take off all the pollywogs that are still left on the board. Okay, then you get back whatever the round is. So round 2, I get back 4. So I'm going to take back my dark ones first. I only use 2 of them this time. 2, and then 2 light ones. 3, 4. So I get back 4. I'll put them in a holding pool. Okay, now my bonus gives me 3 more. So I take 3 of these out, which leaves me with just 1, which I have to sacrifice an egg for. So the bonus really helped me out. Otherwise, it would have cost me 4 eggs to get all of these back, because you have to take back as many as you can. If you are at the point where you have no eggs and you still have to buy these back, it just stays in the round, it stays in the supply for the next round, and you don't get to use it. You can start, that's the only time you can start a round with less than a total of 12 pollywogs, is if you have no choice. But then at the end of that round, if you can buy them all back, you must buy them all back. At the every round, you want to start with 12, ideally. You're not penalized for it, but you just don't get that pollywog. And so I'm going to go ahead and buy this last one with an egg. And then we rotate again to the number 3 spot. So now the round marker's on 3. You can see through these two reveal lily pads. There is a 1 here and a 3 here, and we don't know what these two are, but we'll find out. So we're going to put our 3 dark pollywogs back on where the round marker is. So now we're going to play from this side. Then we're going to put these 3 here. We're going to put these 3 here. And these 3 here. Like I said, if you haven't gotten all your pollywogs back into your holding pool, you can distribute them any way you'd like, but the 3 dark ones have to go at the round marker. You can't mix and match the darks and the lights initially in that area. Okay, and then we flip this card back over, and we're ready to play again. Well, we got to, I'm sorry, take out the covers first. Take out all your covers, and then you're ready to play again. And that's how you play, basically. So this would be round 3. We'd play that one around, and then we'd come around and then do round 4. And then after round 4 is finished, you score it just like the other 3 rounds. You still recover your pollywogs, reset up the system, pay for the remaining pollywogs with your eggs, and then after everyone's done that, whoever has the most eggs wins the game. And that's how you play.